Over the past 4 years, I have made quite a number of these talking head videos on the subject of public speaking and especially storytelling. And in storytelling, I put a lot of emphasis on delivery, the way to deliver a story, with all the pauses, voice variation, sound effects, etc. In this particular video, I would like to point out that one of the best ways to become really good at delivery is to read poetry. Now, I don't read a lot of poetry, I'll be quite honest, although I've written a few over the years. But reading poetry not only gives you the quintessence of word usage, because poets always pick out exactly the right word to create what they want to create, but also it gives you the chance to be able to learn vocal variety. Very important. In this particular video, I'd like to read a poem, so if you'll excuse me while my eyes drop away from the camera as I read the poem. It's a very old poem and quite famous. It's called The Highwayman. Here's what it says in my little book on poetry. The Highwayman. In the 18th century, highwaymen often had an understanding with innkeepers, on whom they relied for information about the movements of rich travellers. This highwayman had an understanding with the landlord's daughter. Here's the poem. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight under the purple moor. And the highwayman came riding, the highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at the chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jewelled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the dark inn yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot in her long black hair. I won't read the whole poem, but I think you'll get the idea. You vary the pace, you vary the vocal variety, the up and down. As he rides, then you pick up the pace. As you describe what he's wearing, you slow down the pace. You put in the appropriate pauses. I cannot emphasize strongly enough that delivery is so important if you are a speaker and you wish to hold an audience. It was Democritus apparently was asked about 2,500 years ago, what is the most important thing for the orator? What are the 3 most important things? And the great man said, the first is delivery. He was asked, what's the second? Delivery. What's the third? Delivery. Delivery is so important. It's the other side of the coin from the information. Information is essential, of course, but delivery is every bit as essential if you want to influence, persuade, transform an audience. So, how do you get it? Read poetry, read it out aloud as if you were reading it to somebody else, as I'm doing now, or as I've just done. Delivery, so important.